Hi guys, I'm M.Pd from Merdeka Malang University. On this occasion, I will give a speech about students so that study something that they are not passionate about. By the way, have you ever disliked something? Surely you have. That feeling of dislike is the result of human evolution in order to survive, both physically and emotionally. Starting from the dislike of certain food taste, certain smells, certain sounds, to certain physical form. Well, one of the feeling of dislike or hate that is quite disturbing and is formed from external influences is the feeling of hatred when you have to deal with certain subjects. It feels like if you hate a certain subject, it's very painful. Never mind studying or working on the problem, even touching the books is lazy. Listening to the teacher's footsteps entering the class is by nature sleepy and uninspired. Unknowingly, the hatred is getting more acute. Learning is not enjoyable. If there is a task, you copy your friends, cheating on tasks. If you study, you have to procrastinate. This is the result of the vote conducted by Genius, one of the technology-based education companies from Indonesia, about dislike subject. As we can see, it turns out that the hated subjects are dominated by physics, mathematics, chemistry, and history. What causes us to dislike the lesson? There are several factors that influence it. The first is priming. Priming is a process in human implicit memory that makes humans think of things that have association with certain things or properties unconsciously. Priming effect is one of the reasons why we don't like these subjects. Priming is closely related to stereotypes. For example, mathematics. Usually, a lot of seniors, friends, or even our relatives say that mathematics is a difficult subject, complicated, make you dizzy, and so on. Because at the beginning it was in prime as it is now, unconsciously when learning mathematics, it will feel increasingly difficult. This prime effect is the same as the suggestion effect. So, how to solve it? There are several things. First, try to avoid association who often give negative signals to each other. The negative signal I mean is something like, I'm so lazy to study math. The teacher is not cool, let's skip the class. Because the more often we are surrounded by an environment that gives negative signals, the greater the effect of suggestions that enter our subconscious. And the second is, we have to give suggestion back to ourselves if we like the subject. You can do with trivial things. For example, by writing mathematics is a cool subject in your notebook. Or when you want to go to class, you can say in your heart that I like math. I will really understand all the material today. By giving the right suggestion to ourselves, we can prime ourselves so that we have good self-control, especially when we face with things that make us stressed. Well, this method is certainly not a magical thing that can change our perception, but by continuously trying to give positive things to ourselves consistently, then gradually our perception can really change. The second is the teacher factor. There are some teachers who only stick to the source of the school textbook. This affects the dynamics of teaching and learning activities in the classroom. When the teacher only focuses on the module, we cannot explore ideas related to the lesson we get in the class, and this can affect our perceptions of the lesson. And the last is our personal motivation. Personal motivation greatly influences how we perceive the essence of a lesson. For example, if we feel that knowledge in certain subjects is knowledge that must be memorized in order to get good grades, then we will burden ourselves even more. If we focus too much on memorizing the information in the book, we cannot explore wider information. In my opinion, the knowledge in the book is not important to memorize. Just understanding is enough. The rest, we can explore from other sources so that our knowledge can be wider. The more sources we read, the wider our understanding will be. Well guys, Apart from the factors that influence our dislike or liking for certain subjects, actually science is interrelated with each other. So when we don't like one of the sciences, it can narrow our opportunities to find out other information. So it's really a loss if we can like one lesson and hate another. For example, if you want to be a doctor and suddenly face a patient, we don't just rely on medical science. We also need to identify patients from various aspects, such as their psychological and social environment, so that we can analyze them in the right way. In short, there is nothing to lose if we learn a lot of things. Learn more things because the more knowledge we gain, the wider our way of thinking. I think that's all from me. Thank you for your attention. I apologize if there are errors in my speech. Thank you very much.